Beautiful.
Hey, everybody, I'm back. Thank you for the news, Juan Hasso. Thank you, Edmund. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Uh, and thank you to all of you who so regularly come to these amazing translation classes. Just grateful for you all. And it's just, I don't know. I'm having a deep appreciation lately for what we're doing, trying to translate these books in a way that's accessible to the modern world. And thank you for just your participation is what's making it happen. The fact that you guys love this and help us and support us is how we can keep going. So just thank you. All right. All right. Quit texting me. I got to do a class. I'm going to share a quiz. I tried to make it easy. I always think I made it easy. This is going to be the time that I really did. So let's see how it goes. Uh, According to Master Shantarakshita, what action harms the reality body connected to countless victors?
Teaching emptiness wrongly.
Not exactly. Although
Wait,
we
the
are in a section that is discussing that, but he says something that's a good bit more specific.
the reality body meaning the emptiness body?
The Dharmakaya.
Yeah, I remember that's supposed to be untouchable, indestructible, nothing can hurt it, nothing can harm it.
No,
Both parts of it?
What about killing one single tiny being?
Giving up on emptiness.
one single tiny killing one of those tiny little bags of pus can't
Giving up
really
on emptiness.
barely benefit us in the slightest. But somebody's talking, but giving up on emptiness, yeah, that's bad. But Master Shantarakshita, so Gyaltsab J says something, and Master Shantarakshita said something even more specific that is related to giving up on emptiness. Is
Oh,
that
teaching it wrong.
yeah, it's related to teaching. It is teaching it wrong, but he specifically says harming the beliefs, harming people's belief in emptiness, which would be teaching it wrong in the suchness of things, he says. Harming the belief in the such, he says specifically. By teaching it wrong, though. That's what he's talking about. Does anybody remember any part or the whole thing for the Tibetan of this phrase? You can work it out.
No.
Yep. But that's at the end of the sentence.
Dini.
Yeah, it's the full form.
Ekonani.
Yeah,
Mm.
good. Yeah, good.
Shem?
Working backwards. What word is doing? What you're doing, word.
I don't know. Chuki Dekonani.
Yes.
Belief? Shepa? Dupa? Dupe? Nu?
Is it? It's close. I mean, it's Mapa.
Yeah, I'm up. Yeah.
Mapalana. Good.
Nice.
Good job.
Thank
Chuki
you.
de Dekona la Mapalan Nipar Nipajepa.
Mhm.
So Nick, what threw me with your question is that it sounded like you're asking about what actions harm the reality body of an existing, I mean, a victor that the countless victors that exist like right now, right? And
Okay.
harming the belief in the suches of things or teaching that that harms the cause of the reality body. Like, so there won't be any new ones.
You're right. You're
Right?
totally right. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
not like the existing ones are hurt.
But
Yeah, you're totally right. No, you're right. It is the cause. And that's I'm about to fix it now because my action harms the pauses of the. That does make it correct. Totally. Thank you.
Thank you.
What is a potential problem of teaching middle way philosophy to people who are not ready?
I'll freak out.
Yeah.
They could go to the lower realms.
Yeah.
They could become unattracted to uh the teachings.
Yeah. But yeah, and what he says is more related to what I think Word and Oscar said. They would, but I was waiting to somebody would say this, but people may think that we are underestimating reality and actually negating that things are real altogether and freak out. And yes, give up on emptiness. That is what you said, Paula. That would lead them to the lower realms, as Oscar said. What does this mean? Chikpa rikpa mingpe ne.
A position where you freak out due to a less than logical understanding of emptiness, something like that.
It's a good guess. It's more simple than that.
Okay. Don't freak out, man. It's just logic.
No, I like that though. That's
Oh,
a good one for Adam and Juan to tell their students
this
today.
this is a point that it doesn't make sense to fear.
Yes, yes, perfect. Good points that doesn't make sense to be afraid of. Nice. I struggled with it when I was working on the translation originally.
Probably being afraid of it.
What?
Nah.
I was afraid of that sentence. Yes.
Don't freak
knew it.
out, man.
Yeah. There are those who may not be afraid by teachings on emptiness, but they still have a problem. I mean, they probably have many problems, but a specific problem. So what is that they accuse the middle way of doing?
That they don't believe in karma and its results.
Yeah, good. They underestimate that we are underestimating seeds and results. So does anybody want to give me the whatever North Nepali
Corn dep.
for that? Yeah, good. What,
Samandang Jabu corn dep. Corn depa.
close. Yeah. Can you say that in an even more concise way?
Le trebu.
Yeah. Lendre corn dep.
Yeah, Langela
Mm.
Corwindep. Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent work. That was kind of easier.
Yay.
Yeah, all right. Thank you very much. Cool. Stop share. And we got through it in 10 minutes.
Yay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm looking for my document. There we go. No. Yeah. Okay. Oh, the best when I'm sharing it, but I don't know where it is. There we go. Just here. Okay. So we last time we got as far as we compared a quotation. Gyaltsab J was quoting Master Shantar Akshita, and then we went ahead and found Geshe Michael found the original quotation. We translated that and we compared the quotations. And now we're moving on to the next section, which is advice for the king to also realize the profound meaning, right? Gyalpa kyang sabmoy dentokpar tampo.
Yeah.
So here's some root text. It's the second half of a verse. Let's look at commentary and then come back to the root text. I will read this first one, and then I'll hand it over to my colleagues and friends to read on. Gyalpo shepu ne rang sheng ni kala tedak ki chine kyang mipung wa dongpa tenjung ki tuntu kong chune tentra la kurba tapna ngenchur choa tong. So let's take a look. I don't know why I wrote with this. Let's see. Well, anyway.
This is a transitioning, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just wondering if there usually I have something in the Tibetan that I'm referencing, but maybe I was just just trying to make it, sometimes I'm just trying to make it flow, I guess.
The S on the end of Shewo, maybe?
Yeah, that's probably it. Well, Gyalpo, who doesn't know what it means that can tell me what it means.
Anyone who didn't chuckle gets to answer.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, all right. What's it mean? Someone who does know what it means.
A bunch of people in the chat seem to know.
Oh, good. Okay, let me open the chat. There we go. Okay. Oh, good. We even got a king emoji. That's awesome.
That's right.
Crown. Good. All right. He's advising, and it's Kyapo Shebu. So this is interesting. What's Shebu? What's interesting about this word? Per. Ben.
It's the name for the region from which you can call to India.
Nice. Yeah. And the name Tibet comes from this. Somehow I guess the British or whoever, when the Tibetans say Puh, they heard Tibet, obviously.
I think it was Tupu. That's what they turned it to.
We're going to Puh. Where are you guys going? We're going to Puh.
Tupu, like the upper place called Puh.
Oh, Tupu. I got it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
To Puh or not to Puh?
That is not the question.
It's not really.
All right. So I translated Gyalpo Shepu Ne, the one to whom we give the title king. Because they're saying Gyalpo Shepu, and he repeats this a couple times. Rangshenika.
Both myself, others.
What did you say? Word?
Both myself and others.
Yeah, good. Both. And what's interesting about this ni here?
That ni is a form of the word to, which usually has an S on it. But this is an archaic form, which you can take away the S and put a GA instead of the more modern form where you keep the S and put a KA to mean both.
Nice. Thank you for that. Wonderful elucidation. Yeah, usually we don't see it like this. Nika, both.
Yep.
Okay. So let's see. And maybe I need to do some work here still with you all. And we'll have to probably look at the root text a little bit. Tedaki chine kyang mipungwa. So it looks to me like chine kyang is this idiom that means do everything you can, or do everything in his power is what I said here.
To mipung.
To mipung.
Not discard.
Well, it's actually in order to not mipung, but yeah, not be ruined, not destroy. Tongpa tenchung ki dun du kong du chu. I think it's the idea is to do everything that you can to tongpa tenchung ki dun du kong du chu.
To not throw away your kong du chu, your deep understanding, dun, of the meaning, gi of, emptiness, tongpa, and tenjong, dependent origination.
Yeah, totally. But that's interesting that you took it that way.
Mm,
You're taking it as to not ruin your understanding of emptiness and dependence.
yeah.
And I took it as to do everything you can to understand emptiness and dependence. And there's no particles here, so it's a little bit ambiguous, maybe not.
Mm.
But I'm taking it as do everything you can to understand those things so that you won't be ruined.
So you don't ruin yourself. Hmm.
Yeah. And I think I'm basing that on the way the root text is structured.
I think you're right, because the mipong would be at the end of that phrase otherwise, I think.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
It could
And
also be that the meaning of the word emptiness is that all things depend on other things.
I know.
Get
That's
them
really
to
good.
understand deep in their hearts
Mm.
that emptiness means all things depend on other things.
Totally. I know. I was thinking about that too, and especially because it's Nagarjuna and he likes to say stuff like that.
Yeah.
Although I mean it's Gyaltsab in this case. So what I've done so far is I just wrote it super ambiguously and wrote emptiness, dependence.
Yeah.
But but I think you're right. I left out the meaning of.
Yeah, I think she must be right, especially because of the nay at the end of that phrase showing this progression that
Yeah.
that's what's going to keep you from this
Yeah.
mistaken
Yeah.
understanding.
And then
Well,
it links
I
kind of
like it.
well with the next phrase, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I like that.
Candela
If one were to, yeah. So what's it mean? Tenjola Kurpatapna.
If we discount dependence,
Yeah. Then what happens?
we're going way south
Yeah, that's a
or
really
far
scary idea.
down,
We're
very low rebirth.
going to a bad place. We go to a bad
Like
place.
like
Go to
Texas.
bad go.
Yeah, bad going. Not you're going bad going. All right.
Isn't the nay like then though?
Oh, from here,
Yeah.
Chune. Yeah, that's kind of an interesting one, right?
That's how they set up progression. They'll put nay, then a shay. Like if you do
Yeah,
then this, then this.
yeah. However, how in this case, I agree with you, and I was even considering that in writing the translation. However, I don't, and we'd have to think about it for a minute because it's saying one thing and then it's immediately giving an if statement of the opposite rather than a progressive statement. You know what I
Then
mean?
then if like then from there, then if you do this, blank will then you'll do this. I know
In
what
that
you're
case,
saying.
it's more of a whereas, right? It's more of a disjunctive. Uh,
Could be. Nay is the disjunctive. I don't know. It's kind of rare, but maybe.
but it's the only, yeah. That's the one thing about the fluidity of the North Himalayan language here.
Doesn't that nay also act as turning the verb into a gerund?
Yeah,
Yeah. Konguchune.
often.
Understanding.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
In this particular case, I don't see any reason that any other way of writing it would be better, but I'm open. I don't see it yet. I'm not convinced. Than just making it a period because the progression is there. And something that I've been kind of playing with lately and that I feel like is important for us all to understand, and something I observe in the way that Geshe Michael translates is like as long as you really nail the meaning, I mean, if you're really getting the meaning, it's not necessarily the case that you're like messing up the translation somehow if you don't like put the particle that's there and thereby make the English clunkier than it would be.
Totally. Totally.
um Yeah, which is, I mean, I know we've discussed this over the last 8 years, but
Right. And then our tricky part is trying to understand precisely what it is that the Tibetan language is saying.
right. Yeah. This is obviously the important part.
And,
Um,
and
I think we got the meaning here, but
and the if could come earlier. If you were to do that, then this would happen.
yeah. But this
But
is so everything's trying to say,
Well, with the tongue, right? We can get some clarity potentially. We're not exactly at the end of the thought.
no, right.
Um,
That's also true.
so the nay still has time to interact with whatever verb is coming.
Yeah, let's go. Well, let's see who would like to read for us today. Duodos, as you've done so wonderfully so far.
Okay, yes, sir. I'll take the job. This is way harder than the last one, I think.
Good. We have to make sure you slip up here and there.
Okay, Denjo lúc là Kelen Gupa Niki, Rang Shinki Dube Tongpa Kelang Gupa Tang, Rang Shinki Duba la Gyuje Chungse Gyang Shaks Sa Mepar, Kongdu Chune, Denba Ni Mangzam Datsam de Kongdu Chuba, Tedarki Shikje Damso.
Amazing. Beautiful. Do you want to work through the translation together, Todro?
Yes, I would like to try.
All right, let's do it. Tentrel Rang Luk La Kelen Gupa.
Denjo Ranglug is our spiritual tradition of interdependence or dependence.
Yeah.
Killing Gupa means it's necessary to accept.
Yeah. He must accept, or you must accept dependence as it is presented in our system. Exactly. Ni. Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And therefore, and thereby,
Therefore,
Rang
Rangshingi
Shinki Drupe Tong Pa Kailan Gupa.
and thus you will have to accept that things are devoid of existing by any self-nature.
Right on. Yes, awesome. Let's see.
Wait,
Tongue.
I add just a slight subtlety.
Okay, yes, yeah.
He changed it from Klen to Klang, I think. He
Yeah,
said,
I think it just means if you accept that, then you'd accept that.
yeah, no, once you accept
Yeah.
the first one, you have accepted the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's cool.
Yeah. Whatever. But yeah, great. Must have accepted. Yeah, maybe, and I don't, it's a good point, and I wonder, because I said thereby, and I felt like I captured that feeling, but you could, if you really wanted to get, technical, and this is just something I'm working on balancing in my own translation progression.
Yeah. I think he's saying it's automatic. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, and I'm not going to put must have accepted. I wanted to try it for a second, but I don't like it. But maybe there is a way to emphasize that. I love it.
Rangshinki
Yeah. So Rangshin
This is a
Kichupala.
long one, right?
Yeah, so let's go piece by piece. Rangshin Kichupala Gindre.
So it's concerning the self-existence. This slightest there is no slightest there's not a sliver of cause and effect.
Well, yeah,
or
good.
result.
Let's go little by little. Gindre, Rangshin Kichupala Gindre. The cause and effect doesn't.
Cause and effect in that of that self-existence.
I think it's that self-existence doesn't exist through, I'm sorry, that cause and effect doesn't exist through its own nature,
But then, okay.
Weird.
But then
even
you didn't
slightly.
include the MEPA, so I just
Oh yeah. We didn't get there yet, but yeah, right. This would just be the self-existence of cause and effect, right?
yeah.
Chungse Kyang, there's not even
And
a
yeah,
shock.
check can establish or
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. So I think I kind of took this whole thing, Shak Sa Me Par Kong Du Chu, as basically saying it wouldn't even be possible for him to imagine Chung Se Kyang even slightly.
Even slightly. But what is the Sa doing here? Like,
I think Shak Sa Mepa is just like you can't pause it, or Shak, the whole thing together to me seems to be saying like
mm,
you don't even like imagine in your mind, like it's not even possible to imagine or to conceive something like
mm,
that. It
You
doesn't have the
can
word
never
possible.
establish, yeah.
Yeah, you can never establish in your mind. It's
mm-hmm.
impossible to establish in your mind, even slightly. And remember what's happening here is he's this is Master Nagarjuna advising the king on how to think.
Um,
So he's saying, look, I'm begging you, buddy, don't even imagine just even for a second, or that cause and effect are even slightly coming from their own side or existing
it's
through
something
somebody.
I don't like that law for self-existence of cause and effect. I want it to mean that cause and effect can't exist in what is self-existent, in the sense that he's saying if
Hmm.
things are self-existent, then Gyundre cause and effect can't be possible. That
Interesting.
I like that too, because the wrong Shingi drip comes first.
yeah,
I'm
Rang Shungi Juba
And
I
then
just
Ba
took it as being an
in that.
adverb, like self-existently. But that's
Yeah,
interesting.
self-existently what though? What's the verb?
It's
right.
a La and MEPA, right? It's a La and MEPA. So I like what Ben is saying. It
Yeah, that's
means
interesting.
It's not there.
Right.
There's not even a trace of it. It wouldn't be possible
Yeah.
in
There's not
self-existent
even-
things.
in the realm of self-existence, the cause and effect cannot function at all, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Okay. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. What you can't establish is cause and effect.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a little parenthesis here.
Which would, of course, be a more powerful way to defend against people who would say that we are undermining cause and effect.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Totally. Okay, so here we go. Great. I like it. I agree. It is more powerful.
Okay. Then Bunny, the two truths, Mountain Datsum, a lot or a little?
No, Geshe Michael glossed it down here, thankfully. And we did have it
Mercifully.
before in this text. See, we've had this before. Knowing something so well you could understand it with only a gesture and no words. So this is when Geshe Michael was like, I mean, this he does this all the time. He goes like this, right? Or
Yeah.
so
Oh,
he does gestures, and then you know what he's talking about. So it's just like that.
doesn't require much to convey the meaning. Literally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mountain
So
Datsum.
yeah, it's an idiom. Mangtsang datsam to kongdu chupa. So like understand it to such an extent that all you need is a little gesture. And so he's saying, it seems to me like he's saying, because then it says detar gi, like by that. So and in that way, develop such an implicit understanding of the two realities. So I took it as like the Konduchupa together with the monks at that time is kind of like a tacit or an implicit understanding that you would, even a small gesture is enough to remind him. Or he's just advising the king, like, Detargi in that way, like that, understand the two realities so that somebody could just go like this or like this, and then you understand what he's talking about.
So Nick, implicit, that's a little risky, right? Because it has the connotation of being inherent.
Oh, interesting. Well,
Yeah,
do you like
So I
tacit
would try and
understanding?
find some tacit is a little better.
It's light
which
though.
which
Like tacit doesn't feel like strong enough to me.
or which word?
Implicit, like an
No,
implicit.
but
I just meant
which?
like it. I just meant like deep in his mind. But tacit's pretty
Yeah,
good.
intimate.
Intimate, yeah, I like intimate. They're really integrated. That's cool.
No, I
Ingrained.
like tacit.
Yeah, I just took Ann home.
I'm gonna go with tacit for now. I like because tacit understanding is a word that I've never written before. I don't want to live my whole life not
Yeah, really. I think
writing.
at least
45.
once.
I don't know how much longer I have. Yeah.
Yeah, this could be it.
All right. All right, cool. Thank you, Dodo. That was amazing.
Thank you. This is
All right,
hard.
try to
May I
tone it
ask
down a
one
little bit.
question?
Yeah.
Kongdu Chuba, this chu, does it mean like insert or something? I mean,
I think it does, but Kongdu Chupa together is an idiom that just means understand deeply.
oh, okay. What does the Kong here mean? It seems like it refers to, I don't know, Kong. Kong means him
I
or
don't think
her,
I've
right?
ever seen Kong by itself.
In colloquial, it means him or her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's Kongdu Chupa is just a phrase. It's like it's like its own word.
Okay. Thank you.
It's
No,
not
no. Kong and Kong Chupa means the container, like your heart. It means your heart or your chest. That's what it literally means to deep in your chest. That's why sometimes it's Tuksu Chupa when it's honorific. Yeah, it means
so chest Kong means chest here, you're saying?
chest or
Yeah,
heart.
deep in within.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
So
never
put
heard
in
that.
your heart, if you understand it this way, if you realize it's this way, makes sense.
But
If you put this
yeah,
in your heart, if you put this in your heart.
yeah.
Like
And
if
then
you
Kongdu Chupa
understand
together
it deep
means
in your
understand.
heart.
Yeah, understand deep in your heart. And I think I used to write deep in your heart all the time, like understand deep in your heart all the time. And Geshe Michael was like, you don't have to always write that. He's like, it just means like understand. I was like, okay.
Okay.
This is your chance to use grok.
Yeah, nobody can stop me. No, but I used tacit understanding.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
That's good.
I really
We'll
wanted to
always
do that.
remember you as a man of many words.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nick. That was fun.
Oh, thank you. And I was going to say, just tone
tone
it down, not to make us look so bad. Just kidding.
No.
No, Dodo, it's nice to see you here.
Thank you.
Let's see now. Advice for the king to get on the train, to train. I don't know if it's training. We'll see. I took a Hello Kitty train while I was here. It was really exciting. I sent pictures to Amelie and she loved it. Oh, wait, let's look at the root text. There.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the second half of a verse. Kyaupa pungwa teda ki, chine mi pung tetar ki. So this is tough. Because Gyalpo Pungwa Dedak. So there's these guys who are ruined, I guess. Oh, King, Gyalpo. He starts a lot of verses with Gyalpo. So it's pretty clear that he is repeating this kind of nominative Gyalpo. He's talking to the king. Oh, King. Punghua, ruined. Daedok, these guys, buy them. I don't know. It's poetry. Chine mi pung te targi. I took the Chine since Gyaltsab J glossed it here. Chine kyang. Do everything in your power. Do everything you can. Te targi, to practice thus. Mi pung, so you will not be ruined. Added some stuff here a little bit to make it make sense. And I think I might have left something out here. Daedok ki, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
those guys who are ruined.
Wouldn't it be those guys who aren't ruined because it's Teitaki, Chine, Mipung?
I don't know. I'm having a hard time with the construction here. Maybe?
Verb should come after, so the king is ruined and those guys aren't ruined.
Well, here, Gyalpo Shebu I think he's just saying king, I think
He
the
doesn't.
Gyalpo Shebu is just relating to this Chedam down here.
Is there any more poems? Because there's only one poem here.
No, isn't
Yeah,
that weird?
I mean the Punghua Daedoks are the ruined.
Yeah, the ruined. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
but
Yeah.
it's
That's very much
problematic.
what it seems like.
But it says mi pung wa, and the root text says pung wa in the first line, and says mi pung in the second line, and there's only
I
one,
know.
so it's a little difficult there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
confusing.
like that, don't ruin yourself.
Yeah, I think he's saying there are those who are ruined. But then it's interesting to me that there's an instrumental here too. He's like, are you saying that they could ruin you? And that's why he has to do everything in his power to not be ruined?
No, they're ruining themselves. It's just instrumental. They're
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
yeah.
right. They're ruining themselves. I agree with that.
Maybe the
Uh,
pung wa means, oh, king, let's talk about ruination. There, there are those who don't
No,
ruin.
I know. That's how I thought of it at first. But then
Okay.
I think that because they're Punghwas, I guess Punghwa could be ruin in general.
What
But
was the
that's
root
but it's
text
also
immediately prior?
it's day talk. It doesn't help.
Oh, good.
Yeah. But we can look at it. It helpfully doesn't help. Oh, look, I didn't translate it. But
Well, it
it's
sure doesn't.
Jigmin ne Jigtedagni.
Don't be afraid of these points.
Uh-huh. Punghwa, they bring yourself and others
Oh yeah.
to
Okay,
ruin.
yeah.
Brings about ruination. And then it's like king. Those ruined ones. Or it could be ruination. But I guess the Daedok too throws me into thinking that he's talking about people who are ruined. It seems like a warning. Let's continue with the commentary and see if we have any more feelings.
Is it maybe that the king shouldn't ruin people?
Well, maybe, but it says Pungwa Daedok. Like it seems like it's talking about people who are ruined.
I think pung was the
Uh-huh.
end of the sentence. So it's like, oh, king, there could be ruination.
It could be. It could be that. I mean, we got the basic idea.
We do.
Yeah,
Do
there
whatever
could.
you can to not ruin them like that.
Yeah. What are
I
you
have an
doing?
idea.
Yes.
King, don't ruin yourself because of those who are ruined. If you
Yeah, I
don't
think.
want to ruin yourself, right?
Yeah.
If you don't want to ruin yourself,
Right.
by like, yeah, how do we put it? If you don't want to
Yeah,
ruin
like with
yourself
them.
by those with those who have already been ruined, please do according to this.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
That's great.
And then in the commentary, it does say Rangshen Nika La Tedakni. So it's to self and others. So somehow it's like, don't let these guys, these ruined guys hurt yourself and others.
That's great. Don't be ruined by the ruined.
Oh, and here's where I put it. I said, yeah, they will not ruin him and others
That's great.
because all we have is a Tedaki in the commentary, so that they will
Yeah.
not ruin him and others.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
So
you're
yeah, I
exactly
think
right, Jojo.
I think we're on the right track. Okay. I'm checking the time. Okay.
It won't save you.
No, I'm really enjoying this actually.
Me too.
We are working on a text together. We are doing it. We're making progress. You have afforded me understandings that I didn't have prior. This is the mixed nuts cog turning. Slowly, but turning. Advice for the king to train. Because this is from way above. This is something I'm scared of. The level of organization and understanding that we are going to have to learn to do when we're translating these books, especially an author like Gyaltsab, is intense. Like Geshe Michael must have outlined the entire book in order to realize that this is the second part from like way earlier. Outlined it and also context, you know.
Yeah, I
But
think for like a mere mortal like me, I have to have a separate document that is, like outlining as I go.
definitely,
And when
yeah,
I think
and
you're
first
the
and
same.
second is used in part and whatnot.
yeah, and
Yeah.
try so and it's possible, and you can keep track, and I do it too with Gyaltsab. I keep track of like within an outline of like, okay, this is the first part, this is the second part, and about 85% of the time the author will stick to that outline that they have set forth, and 15% of the time you still have to figure it out why something's off and they're not necessarily sticking to it perfectly.
Right.
All right, let's try.
Mhm.
Let's see who wants to read. We don't have a live audience, so I have to like, it's hard for me to see who's here while I'm here. Ben, can you read, please?
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
Nipa kialpe kyang sabmoy dun la lapar kang dam ba la. Oh, just dam ba la
Dampa.
ni. Kam ge ba tang dak me ni shepao. Angoni.
Okay, let's see what's going on here. Niba, the second part from above. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Gyalpa Kyang Sabmoy Dunla Lapa. What do you think, Ben?
The training on the profound meaning. Well, what? Even if you do
Yeah,
train the profound meaning?
I think it's
Or no,
also
you
in
don't.
this case.
Okay. Well,
Because
there are two here. Yeah.
Well, from the Gelpo earlier, also, can we,
because he's advising him on something before, and now he's saying
yeah,
also
that's what I
training.
mean. I mean, the last section, yep.
Yeah, in the meaning of the profound.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I see. Yeah. And you're saying this also has two parts. Yeah. Kapkapadang dakme ni shepao.
So advice on that. So there will be two parts to the advice on how to train on the profound meaning or the profound object,
Mhm.
meaning of the profound, perhaps.
Kopkopa.
Yes. Yeah, like when, I guess, when you should do it,
I think it's
maybe.
just because it's a phrase that he uses sometimes. I think it just means like giving the context or setting the scene type of thing.
A
Setting for
presentation on this context or in this context, right?
yeah, yeah. Setting the context.
Okay,
Uh
and then explaining the two types of lack of self nature.
yeah. And for some reason, Geshe Michael probably not on purpose left the Dong Pony here. So I just wrote here as the first.
Okay.
Okay. Root text. Skip that for the moment. Word. Would you like to? I'm just going to call on Mixed Nuts because I can't see everybody. Would you like to go ahead and read, please?
Yeah. Gel Gelpo Shebu Ne Kula Jikten Deki Sul Lu Tani La Mitenpe Yang Dakpa Ne Dun Ki Dode Le Sungpa Chitawa Shindu Rikpa Dang Lungi Wangi Shepar Chao.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I think there's some heavy reliance on the root text here. So I mean he's explaining it pretty closely. So I know word, we just had this. Gyalpo Shewu Ne. Oh, we lost him. Tim, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, hey.
Okay.
What does it mean, Tim? Gyalpo Shewu.
Oh, Galpo ship. It has he's speaking to the king, right?
Yeah, the one
And
who
the
we
Yeah.
and I can't remember exactly what because I got basically I got the answer wrong in class, and I got nervous, and so I wasn't able to. I didn't go into my brain about actually what Pu meant, but it's related to the name for Tibet. But that's about
Yeah,
as far
good.
as I can remember.
Yeah. Nice. He's saying the one we because it means call. Call.
Oh,
Maybe
call. Oh,
he's
the
saying
one we call. Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you.
the one we call king. And what's Killa? Anybody?
You,
To you.
Yeah.
Mr. King.
To you. Yeah, I shall explain. And then there's a shape bar ja. There's a shape bar ja at the end, so I just put it up here. I shall explain to you.
Hmm.
Jikden de kitsu. Anybody?
Oh.
This method which takes us beyond the world.
Yeah. Which takes us or which is
Mhm. This transcendent methodology.
yeah. Tani la mitemba.
It doesn't lean on extremes, doesn't fall into the two extremes, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't. I like lean on. It's not based on those extreme ways of thinking. Yang Dakpa Ngaden. I think it's
Hmm.
glossing Yang Dakpa here.
Yes, right. The correct meaning, the definitive
Hmm.
meaning of
Yeah, and I'm wondering if it's even might be literal meaning here.
Literal. Yeah.
uh-huh. Yeah,
Correct or
sure.
literal meaning.
Yeah,
Uh
for sure. Correct
yeah.
meaning literal. Yeah. Sorry, there's correct as in literal meaning, yeah. Correct meaning literal.
Dodele Sumpa Jitawa Shindu.
Um uh, yeah. Well, I guess just as it is in
Yeah.
the scriptural collection.
Yeah, I think so. Just as it was spoken in the scriptural collection or collection of sutras, I put Rikpa Dang Lung.
Uh,
We already had this today, I think.
yeah, we did. Yeah, logic and scriptural examples are authoritative.
And this is the point where Geshe Michael might tell the story that he had a friend named Jampa Lungrik.
Uh,
Wangi Sheparja, let's just say.
yeah, I mean, you should explain it by that.
Yeah, I put using, which I hope
Sure.
sounds okay. Using reasoning in scripture.
Yeah.
So I said, I shall explain to you the one who we call king using reasoning in scripture in just the way it was spoken in the collection of sutras, that the correct or literal meaning of this system, which is the way that is beyond the world, is to not rely upon the two extreme views.
I think Dwengi Tote means the scriptures that speaks literally. Because it's talking about emptiness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, anyway, okay.
Yeah, it's tricky a little bit, for Dodo, because if Nedun is an explanation of Young Dakpa, you wouldn't go as far as to say the correct scriptures, the correct
Right.
sutras. You couldn't call some of them incorrect.
Yeah.
I guess I would want to stare at the root text a little bit more for clarity about that.
I think
your instinct is good.
Young Dakpa is glossing Nedun, right? Maybe. I don't know.
Vice versa. Young Dakpa is in the root text. So our feeling is
come
that
later,
Nedun
please.
is
Sorry.
explaining that. Come later, please. I'm sorry, I'll wait till later.
I'll just tell them I don't need it. No need.
You're saying Young Dakpa is the root text. So
yeah, I think that I'm pretty sure that the Nedun is glossing Young Dakpa. I'm pretty sure, and also because when it says Do de le sung and it's using this verb sungpa, which is an honorific way to say spoken, I think we can assume he's talking about the words of the Buddha. So there wouldn't be, probably he's not distinguishing like correct scriptures versus incorrect scriptures, since we would consider them all to be correct.
We're almost at the point where we could peek at the root text to see.
Yeah, we'll look at let's look at this next sentence and then we'll look at the root text.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll read this one. Chidundu shena gyapa kyuni mipung par kiwe leduo. Chidundu shena, anybody?
Why?
You wonder what the heck we're talking about.
Yeah. If you're wondering why we're talking about this, what's the point of all this? It's so that gyapa kya you king mi pungwar gi we le.
Yeah, so you shouldn't mess yourself up.
Yeah, so you don't degenerate.
Do ruinous deeds.
Yeah, you don't fall apart, or you do fall apart, but only in a way that's going to help everybody.
Okay, now let's see what happened with this.
All right, Kyapo Kuni Mipungwar. So yeah, so that you, king, will not be ruined. We just covered that. Kile Kile. So I think that still continues there. Chikten de Kitsu. So that's the way around the world.
Right, the way beyond.
Here I said there's a she, so I just, that's where I put the verb. I shall explain the way beyond the world. Nila miten.
doesn't depend on those two is correct, and what doesn't. Yeah.
It's correct. Just as the Jishin Lungi Wangi. Yeah. Yang Dakpa Jishin Lung. Correct. Just like our scriptures. I'm going to explain using that stuff. I got to throw using into this root text.
You have it.
The
The scriptures we use.
Oh, yes, I did. Thank you. I threw that in at the last minute. So I had to get that in there. All right, cool. I don't know if that clears up that ambiguity, Duo.
Yeah, it does seem to support his position, I think. Because it's just like the well, yeah. To be correct is to not lean on the two extremes just as they are in a way that's consistent, Jitawa Shindu, with the Dode, the scriptural collection written that is
which is literal.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying Nilamitin equals Yang Dakpa, or maybe Yang Dakpa can also refer to Yang Dakpe Tawa. So that will make more sense, right?
Yeah, right. Yang Dakpa is right.
It's definitely
right.
Yang Dakpe Tawa.
Right. Yeah,
it's correct in the sense
that, and a positive.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I agree with that too. And I tried to write the sentence that way, but I think I just gave up and wrote it this way. But I think you're right that it's correct, meaning not relying upon the two extreme views.
Yes. Right. Yeah. Right.
And that does call for me to restructure the sentence, I think, a little bit, because what I did is I said it's kind of, I don't know if it's less correct to write it this way. I'd have to sit and think about it. But I made it kind of like the point of the sentence is that, what's correct is to not rely on those two extreme views. But I think it's more accurate, or more, what do you call it? Like, it's more of what the verse is trying to express, is to say that correct, comma, not replying on the two extreme, like almost a positives.
Yes, yeah, that's in a positive. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And he's added the genitive, right?
Yes, he has. Yeah.
The apostrophe I was what he added.
Correct in the sense of not relying on the two.
Yeah. Like right. Yeah.
Correct in the sense of not relying on the two. Yeah, so I guess, and there's no reason to put this is, it's kind of what it comes down to. And I think that that's true. It's just about that he's going to explain these things, and then he just kind of says what he's going to explain. There doesn't need to be like, I'm going to explain that this is this. It's not actually happening in the Tibetan. So I'll structure it without that is, I think, is what I can do.
Yeah, right. I guess what Duozo pointed out that I think is very helpful, right? Just the way it was spoken in the collection of sutras, which are literal.
Oh. Just as it was spoken in the collection of sutras, which are literal.
Yeah, I would put literal meaning over there. As per his urging, and I'm provisionally convinced myself.
Yeah.
Sound confident.
No need for learning together for the is collection of sutras, which are literal.
I suspect that's correct.
All right. I'll certainly go with this some more. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We're 1 minute over time.
Oh.
I'm going to stop sharing. This is fun. This is the mixed nuts in action. We're doing it. Just like, it reminds me of there's this movie Anchorman that I used to like. It probably came out like 20 years ago now or something, but there's a point where they're laughing really hard. And then Will Ferrell like starts narrating. He's like, "We are laughing." And he starts narrating what they're doing. It's like it's a spontaneous experience of joy. So sometimes I think it's important to narrate what's going on. We are translating together. And I'm grateful. I'm really grateful to have the people like you all who are interested in it. So thank you for coming and working together on these things, because it is kind of hard and it's fun to make progress on these texts. Super fun and really amazing and useful. So thank you. And thank you for the news, Juan. And I'll try to tune into Juan's class later if you can. It's going to be in like 3.5 hours. So if you can, tune into the emptiness of colors. If you don't have a QR code, there's one in your inbox, because that came in the newsletter that came a couple days ago, the Mixed Nuts newsletter. And I'll see y'all soon. All right. Ciao, ciao, ciao.
Thanks, Nick.